But yeah, back to the fees and all. It's crazy to me that like somebody can charge, 25, 30 grand and sell 50 tickets. I think it's just nuts.
And bomb the room. I mean,
yeah.
Well, how do they look when they're bombing?
That
I just want to get to the place where I can bomb and not even realize it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have another answer because like if I'm bombing, like I'm going to change what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of them are kind of like, well, I'm the artist. They're here to see me. And that's just not the right mentality.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
10 to 25K and you're not really even moving the needle.
Just from spots that I have played and bookers like I've talked to at those spots.
Well, all right. Battle raps cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so thin.
Welcome back to the Party with Strategy podcast. Very special episode, very special guest, a rare Friday morning. This is the morning for us, let's be honest. Anything before 3 p.m. is the morning for a DJ. A rare morning filming. My boy just landed, took the train over here. I'm excited. It's been a long time in the making. It's been hard to catch this guy. He's finally here. Ladies and gentlemen, a member of the tribe, the Sultan of Sticks, a.k.a. the Stick Poppy, the officer of organization. The kid's calendar is crazy. He puts the man in not having management. The ruler of Record Box. His edits are exquisite. The shofar showman. The rinse and repeat rascal. The Nashville Nugget. My boy Kazis. What's up, champ?
You just hit the whole alphabet. I mean, I feel like this podcast has been like months and months in the making, so you had some time to really put that one together.
I've had some time.
It was better than I expected.
That was good. I got a lot of time on my hands.
That was solid.
Honest.
That was good. No, it's good to be here. I'm excited to.
Thank you.
Excited to talk some shit with you.
How you feeling?
I'm good, man. A little early flight. No traffic on the way in's nice.
Yeah.
John Boy's always fun, so it should be a good one.
Yeah, I miss that place. I haven't been inside of there since we left. Not for any bad reasons, but we just been working our balls off every day. I haven't had time to go anywhere.
They got you locked in at Celeste.
Yeah, they got us fucking working slave shifts.
You and Heavy don't leave.
Yeah,
that's good though.
Working me like a mule. It's good time though. I was just thinking about I need to stop into a bunch of places on Randolph that I haven't been in forever.
What's the one Jersey plays at? That's like everyone says is cool.
Bodega,
yeah.
Bodega's dope.
Yeah. I heard that's cool.
Dope.
I haven't been to this one.
You know the bodegas from Miami.
Yeah, the Miami ones way back in the day were really, really good.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger, the beach one was awesome. They're still kicking there, but there's a lot of stuff there now, so it's a little more competitive, I feel like.
Yeah, I played at that what's the new one in the rich neighborhood over there?
Coconut Grove.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was tight.
Yeah, it's cool. I think they all look the same or no?
Yeah, like for the most part, but the rooms are, one's a little longer than the other, one's bigger.
Not like Bottle Blonde where they're all like exactly.
No. Okay. They like try and make it as close as possible, but it's sort of dependent on the room.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bottle Blonde, how's Goodnight Nashville doing?
It's good.
Have you been in there?
I mean, I was. That's where we were at part of last Sunday. It's always fun. We always run into like Dustin there, Bottle Blonde Dustin. It's cool. It's a cool spot. It kind of feels a little bit like bottle when you're in there, I guess. Like the way the table setup is the same on the rooftop. It's like the the big bar in the middle.
Yeah.
Tables on each side. The difference is though the patio is like part of it. Where like in Bottled, like the garage door kind of separates the patio.
Yep.
But same vibe. It's cool. It's a fun spot.
Nice. Who's DJing over there? I haven't seen anything about that.
Honestly, I don't really know. I met one of the guys. I want to say Ray something.
Ray Cash.
I think that's who it was.
Ray Cash?
He's like with Bottled.
Yeah.
So I met him. I know he's over there. Besides that, I don't know too many people over there, honestly.
I can't believe Ray went to Nashville. He came to Houston too.
I think he told me when I met him he was from Houston.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I can't believe he's still collecting a bottle blonde check.
The EEG check.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
I mean, they're opening in Vegas.
I've seen the plans for that forever, but I was wondering if they were going to keep it bottle blonde, or
do
if
like
they're
a
going to
licensing deal.
change. Yeah,
something. I mean,
something.
they've been posting it's bottle blonde. I think it's supposed to open this summer.
Really?
It's in that area that's not in a hotel, but is like high traffic. So like I feel like they get a lot of those like tourist people that are maybe not staying in like the super nice hotels that kind of like move around a bit. So hopefully they do well. I mean, I like all of them. So
yeah, hell yeah,
good dudes.
You just did Vegas.
I just did Vegas. I did. I was out there to do IU. So basically, beginning of the summer, beginning of spring, Flight, who I was telling you, good dude. He's the resident at IU and Zook. They asked him for some like younger guys that weren't in Vegas that they wanted to like kind of give, tryouts and book a bit. So he ended up booking me to do a date at IU. They ended up closing IU for I don't know the exact reason, but it was one of those like you're in Vegas, we're closing kind of things. He's like, but you're gonna do Zook. So I was like, oh, this is kind of working out.
That's tight.
Yeah, so I ended up doing Zook that Friday night, and like production wise, that club's insane. Probably the craziest place like I've played in / seen, and I feel like I've played in some really cool production rooms, but that room it's nuts.
Really? Yeah. I haven't been in there. Did you stay at Resort World?
Yeah, stayed at Resort World.
Resort World's my shit.
It's a cool hotel. There's a lot of stuff in there, a bunch of good restaurants. But yeah, I mean, we were like kind of walking around the room after we played, and there's basically like these like squares that all have like LED screens, but they're like on motors, so they kind of can like rotate. So there's a point where you'll like look at the room, and the whole room will be like slanted. Because like all the LEDs are like slanted in a direction, and it's like literally the whole room looks like it's like it's sick.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah, really crazy.
That's crazy.
It was a cool spot, and first time I've done Vegas. That's been like a goal forever, so that was pretty cool to knock off the list.
That's sick. Yeah,
it was cool.
I need to know what's the secret sauce. How do you how do you have the best looking calendar in the game?
I wish that there was a one sentence answer for this question. No, I'm dead serious, because I feel like people will ask me this, and I think the same way that somebody will see where I'm at for a month or whatever, I'm looking at the next thing and I'm like, how do I do that? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think it's very like, it sounds cliche, but it's just like keep it moving. It's a long game. Like I've been doing this 12, 13 years. So it's like, that didn't happen overnight. That didn't happen in 2 months. Like there's a lot of like no before yes. And that's just kind of what I tell people is when you hear no, like keep moving. And that doesn't mean like be annoying. It doesn't mean keep asking at that moment. But like, a lot of the times you ask for something and you're not ready for it yet. And that happened a lot with me in the beginning, because there's a lot of spots I play now that I was told no first. And basically, once I was where I needed to be for those spots, then those spots kind of came back like into my orbit. And from there, it's like then those next spots, you get into that orbit, and it just kind of keeps moving along. But yeah, there's no like straight answer for that ever.
Yeah.
I don't have one.
There's not like, I feel like there was a gap. There was the scam era where they ran everything, and those guys were ruling everywhere. The world, and everyone wanted to be on that roster. Mm-hmm. And then COVID happened, and the world shifts, and blah blah blah. DJs aren't getting paid as much, people aren't traveling as much, everything's so expensive, and everyone switched up and did different things, and like there's not a ton of places booking out of town guys like that. But you emerged from the ashes. You were the phoenix that rose from the death of the.
Come out of the ground with the shofar.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt like everyone kind of settled into residencies and doing things, locally and whatnot, and kind of shifted. And then I mean, nobody's crushing like you, and the most impressive part is that you don't have management or a booking agent. You do everything yourself.
I do everything myself. It's kind of funny because people will ask me all the time, like, yo, so what are you on? Who's your manager? Like, and they just assume I'm going to be like, I'm on this or I'm on that. Mm-hmm. And I don't have anything against like people that have managers or on management. I think there is a lot of pluses to it. I just think for me, a lot of like the timing of when I really like made my move and I was like, I'm going to get into these markets, like you said, was around COVID. A lot of these guys that were on Scam and these other agencies were getting paid really, really, really well. Like more than non-ticket DJs should be getting paid. I'm just going to say, like, it is what it is. They might not like that I'm saying that, but it's the truth. Like,
they were getting too much money.
They were getting a lot of money and they were killing it. And basically COVID happened and a lot of these clubs kind of scaled it back, and they still were paying good money, but they were paying like half of what these guys were getting. So I think some of the younger people that weren't in these markets, you think of like a me, a Rick, a Chisel, like those type of guys were like, oh, this is a pretty good check. Like, I'm down to travel for this. And I think COVID gave us those opportunities. But yeah, I think timing's a big part of it. And like I was saying, back to the management thing, I think that if I wasn't able to get into these markets and some of this management or managers were like, I can get you in this market, I'm going to take the 15, 20%. That's one thing. But for me, really the only thing I want consistently that I like don't have is Vegas. Mm-hmm. And none of these people can give me that. So it doesn't really make sense for me to give someone 20% to stay in the markets I already have.
Yeah. Every like younger DJ is, including myself at a certain point, was like, okay, next step is to get management. Next step is to get on a roster.
100%.
Like, that's what you need to do. But really, obviously, you don't at all. Like, if you can do it yourself, you're so much better off.
I think back when we were coming up, I think to play those rooms we wanted to, I think you kind of did have to have management. It was a lot more like how Vegas is, like kind of, I don't want to say like gate kept, but it was very like corporate guys booking this, corporate guys booking that. After COVID, it was a lot of like resident DJs booking lineups. And that's kind of when I started getting into those markets. I think we're back to a lot more corporate booking, like a lot more guys working for companies that are doing the booking. But there was that period where it was almost like beneficial to not have a manager, because like you're talking to these guys and like you're on their level, like you're not some suit. You know what I mean? Like, mm-hmm. I feel like we've talked about this with Dex before, where the way like people approach him, if they approach him in a more human friendly way, it almost works better, as opposed to like, you know, a really drawn out corporate email where he's like, that's not really like how I am. And I think you need to just learn who you're working with. And I feel like I've kind of developed those relationships not having management, and I think it's helped me a lot. And I've seen it help other people too. I mean, it definitely is, you know, has everything has its plus and negatives, but I think at the time I came in and started doing it, not having management helped me a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's inspiring. And you said you do know for any young aspiring DJs out there that want to email somebody about getting booked, you have Dex's email for them?
I do. We're going to put Dex's phone number, email, Instagram, as well as Maddie's favorite bagel order on the screen.
Okay.
And send it to Dex's apartment. He'll book you in any of their venues. You'll be good to go.
Yeah, if he doesn't answer the email, you can send a text. If he's not answering his phone because he's too busy, you can write a letter, right?
Right. And or just show up at his door.
Or yeah, if last worst
he
case
likes
scenario.
Persistence.
Yeah, that's his whole thing is persistence wins.
Insane. Actually insane. Oh man.
I want to know personally, like, this is for me. I've always wondered, DJs that book out like you book out an entire year, right? Like what is when you're booking? I try to book
out as far as possible.
But take me through your routine. What is it, like January or maybe you're in November, December, and then you start thinking about the next year? Like, how does that work? When do you start putting things together? When do you start reaching out?
Yeah, so at this point, most of the spots I play are like reoccurring spots.
Yeah.
So it's
like monthly residencies.
Yeah, monthly, 2 months, 3 months, whatever they happen to be. Some stuff maybe is only 3 times a year, so that would be like once a quarter. Some stuff is every month. Like, the green lights I pretty much do every month for the most part. Nashville's once a month, etc., etc. I kind of just have on my calendar like this is when the next one of these should be. And I just reach out, depending on the spot, how far in advance. Certain spots book out way further in advance, like Nashville, for example, or, Greenlight's another one too. They're booking so many DJs that they're booking the whole year. They're booking it in like 2 parts. It's kind of like January to May and then May at the end of the year. I just kind of keep notes of like, this is when I need to reach out to this person. It's hard sometimes when you don't have like your stuff only in your city, just because it's like a lot of juggling. It's like, oh, you only have this date, but I have that date down here. Can I move that date? It's a lot of like that type of stuff. So that's why I try and stay out in front of it, because the further away it is, the easier it is to kind of juggle those things when you have to. But yeah, mostly regular stuff. Obviously stuff comes up and gets added. I still reach out to new people as well, and like sometimes those things happen, sometimes they don't. You also don't want to book like too far, because stuff does come up that you might want to do, and then that sucks if you can't do it. Like I've definitely had that happen before, where it's kind of like, all right, let's fill these slots, and you're thinking money, and that's when you kind of get in trouble a little bit, because it's like, oh, well, this gig that I'm now turning down is in the long run more beneficial than that check you're going to get for that Saturday. So it's tough sometimes, but I think it's just trying to keep like everything in mind, which spots like you're good to that are also good back to you. Obviously, like I want to play there the most, so those are the ones that I'm going to give, dates to when I can.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no like recipe for it. It's just kind of being organized and trying to stay up on it and keeping in contact with like everyone.
Yeah, I like that. That's tight. I've always envied people that book out so far. And like, at what point did you switch over? At what point were you like, okay, I'm not booking out like a month or 2 in advance like most people.
Yeah.
When someone hits me up for dates, I'm letting them know that I'm filling my entire year.
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing people's calendars like before COVID, like when you're talking about kind of the scam era. And I remember seeing people like, holy shit, like they got dates like 3-4 months out. And I feel like that kind of was like a small goal for me, was to be able to be like, oh, I don't have dates for that. And like, luckily, obviously like it's a blessing, but I've definitely like gotten to that point where like, someone will hit me up and it's like, dude, for the rest of this year, like I think every Saturday is booked. I got like some Fridays open and random dates and stuff, but pretty much every Saturday through December is like done.
That's G shit.
And again, like the calendar thing, I think it just takes a lot of like time to get there. It's like building up that like Rolodex of the spots that you do. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know when it happened. I remember being like, oh wow, the whole month's booked out. That's amazing. And then it was kind of like 2 months is booked out. It's amazing. 3 months, 4 months, and it's just kind of like keeps going, I guess. It also really depends on the spots, and it helps when you have these spots that are like very organized and down to do that, because like not every spot is about that.
Yeah.
Some of them are operating on that month to month calendar.
Yeah, you don't know what's gonna happen in there. But
yeah, I see both ways. I know some of these spots are a little tighter, and some know that in 6 months they're still killing it. So I get it, but it makes it hard on DJs sometimes too. Like if you can't book out a little bit. But yeah, you look like you're thinking of something over there. I'm a little worried. I don't know. I see the glasses. I see the shake. Like.
I got a couple things cooking. I just feel like it needs to be the right moment to pounce.
Yeah, I'm worried.
But what's one of your favorite clubs in the country?
Oh man.
not to take away from any of the other ones, but what
I want to first say pretty much everywhere I play, I love playing.
Yeah.
I'm not even like saying that to protect anything. I think I've gotten to that point that like now the stuff I don't want to do, I'm not really doing. And there's very few of those like left on the calendar. And it's funny because when I was younger, I always thought the goal was to like be in Vegas or do this or do that. And I've realized as I've gotten older, that's the best thing as a DJ is not having to play stuff you don't want to play.
Yeah.
I feel like you would agree with that. Like I know how you're loving Celeste right now. Like every night you play, you're happy to DJ.
Absolutely agree. Yeah.
That's the blessing. As far as like my favorite spots, man, I love Boston. I love Grand and Memoir are amazing. Shout out Big Night, Buddy. We don't get to do those as much because they have a great roster of like local dudes that are killing it. So they take a lot of those dates, but we still get to do it, 2-3 times a year. And the Grand is just, it's insane. Like amazing production, amazing crowd. That would be one of my favorites. I also would say the 2 trios, which is Charlotte and Charleston.
Trio, that's where Propa was, right?
Yeah, he did both of those.
Okay, yeah.
And it was funny because he was talking about it too. I always tell everyone when they go and play those how different they are. So the Charlotte one is like big room. The ceiling has like an LED kind of thing. So like your logo and visuals and everything kind of like spin on the ceiling. Like amazing production, amazing sound, like great hospitality. And then Charleston is like a sick like boiler room. It's small. It's just kind of like a bunch of movers and a big LED behind you, and it's just like everyone right on top of you. So they're both like very different, but they're awesome.
That's sick.
Really cool. Those are like always ones I'm like looking forward to on the calendar. But then there's the few a year, like Forward is amazing.
You got some Forward dates this summer?
I'm doing Forward in July.
Nice.
I'm pumped. It's a fun one.
Sick.
That one's always circled. But yeah, honestly, all the spots I do, man, I love all of them. Like, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how it should be. And I feel like that's one of the things that's most noticeable about your calendar is it's the illest spots. It's not, some people, you can tell they're going around collecting checks, playing in like random places in Iowa and like these places, and nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Yeah.
But it looks very curated.
Yeah.
It looks like you're doing exactly what you want to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think even that comes down to like what I want to play is like there's enough spots that book like what I want to do that I don't need to go like change my style and play somewhere else.
Yeah. What is it that you want to do? What's
I mean, I like
when's the last time you played Trap Queen by Fetty Wap?
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. That was an anthem though back in the day. Let's not take away from that.
There's a new edit that I've been hearing of something that goes into Trap Queen, like with the melodic little bell ding.
Yeah, like a tone play kind of thing.
Yeah, tone play thing, and it's like one of the best transition edits I've heard in a minute. I've heard on a couple people's mixes.
Dude, Fetty Wap, had an all-time run.
Yeah.
It was like 1 year long. It was like
1738.
I mean, that like 6, 7, 9. People still play those songs. Like they still hit. It's crazy.
Well, yeah, that's all we got.
Yeah,
it's either that or Lil Durk.
I know, that's the other
We're
thing.
still playing Fetty Wap. Well, not me, but maybe we'll do a disco
Fetty
remix.
Wap and Celeste.
Maybe we'll do a disco Fetty Wap. They do have one. They have an again.
I saw that actually.
Yeah.
I was going through Music for John Boy and I saw someone make it again. I did see that actually. I don't know if I grabbed it, but I saw it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like playing dance shit. Like I like housey stuff, but I like it where it's familiar. So like I'm the most like level-headed, real, like I'm not selling 1,000 tickets. Like I'm not having 1,000 people come see me. So like how do I play like what I want to play, but also make sure people enjoy it?
So yeah, I mean, it sounds exactly like a lot of the edits you're putting out that people love.
Yeah.
Is like dance, good house music, but mixed with familiar stuff.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of like what my style has become. Right after COVID, that was like what I decided. I cut playing everything. I stopped playing like small bar stuff, like stuff where I had to play like 75% hip hop. I stopped doing all of it. And like at first it sucks because you lose out on a lot of those checks. And it's kind of like, then you go from there and you're like, how can I make money not playing in a club? So it's like, that was how I got into the Fit Radio thing, how I do all those mixes for them.
Yeah, I want to talk about that for sure. We got to put a bookmark in that.
Yeah, we can talk about that. But I think for a lot of like younger people, they always are like, oh man, I'm going to be missing out on, you know, this $500 check. And what they don't realize is that $500 check is like actually hurting you more than it's helping you. And I know you got to pay your bills. I understand that. Like, I'm not taking away from that, but there's other ways to make that $500 that's not going to take away from like you getting on that path you want to get on.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people say they want to be on a certain path, but then you look at the path they're on and they're not doing the things to be on that path.
Yeah, I feel that. So, you said something I wanted to ask about, playing. Oh, what'd you say? Fuck, I gotta piss, and then I'll be able to clear my mind.
How far are we in? How long
it's been
did
like
you
10
make
minutes. It's been like 10 minutes, but I woke up and chugged water. I'm drinking coffee. I took a water boy. I'm hydrated. I just gotta piss.
Oh, I love it.
Shouts to Long Drink for sponsoring the podcast. Absolutely the best cocktail you can get out there. That's exactly what it is. A cocktail in a can. It's not a seltzer. As you can tell, it's not one of those stupid, long, skinny cans that makes you look like an idiot stick when you're drinking it. This is good stuff. Anyone I give one of these to asks me what it is, where they can get it, and why they haven't had it before. I'm putting people on. You guys are next. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the program. Go to your local liquor store. Target's got them. Wherever you can. Grab a long drink today. Enjoy. Watch the pod. Let's get back to it. Thank you.
One day.
All right.
You'll make it one day.
It's not even possible. The piss left my body, and I remembered exactly what I was
Did you remember?
About. Yeah.
Did it come to your head at the toilet?
It literally, when the piss drained out of my brain, it left room for my thoughts to come back to me. It feels to me like you and Rick, and I'm sure there's other guys as well, but I can't think of them. You guys are definitely leading the charge in this like lane. You're carving this lane that you kind of talked about, where you're playing shit that you want to play and moving like an artist, but you're not yet an artist. Like, obviously you're working on tracks. I mean, not to say you're not an artist. That's fucked up. We're not hard ticket pushers. We're not hard ticket sellers. That's a better way to put it.
That's the way I always try to break it up.
Yeah.
I think that
a hard ticket seller. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Because you're obviously creating art. You're putting out edits every week. You're putting out originals as well. You're doing your thing. You're trying to get into that zone. But even without those things being the reason that you're in that zone, you're consciously making an effort to be different. You don't want to be an open format nightclub DJ, and I feel like that's all that there was for a long time. It was that or hard ticket, and now there's this middle ground that I feel like you're leading the charge in. Is what I'm trying to say.
There's definitely this area of like, I think part of that is because of how big like dance music's gotten. Like, obviously there was that huge boom of dance music, like that first one in the 2010 area where it became like huge in Vegas and all that. Then it fell off like hard. Like, then you remember the era when like Bottle Blondes and those were killing it. Like 2015 to like 18, 19, COVID happened. It kind of reset everything. I feel like what happened is those areas where a lot of these like open format guys were getting booked, they wanted these more like artist DJs. Even though we're not these hard ticket sellers, they still have those spots, right? So they have like some nights where they need the big hard ticket sellers. They have some nights where they're opening and they need good DJs. But a lot of these rooms like need you to put a show on. You can't just show up and stand there and DJ. It doesn't work. And a lot of those rooms that both of us play are those rooms. Like, and I think that's why we have success in those rooms, is because we treat them like artist sets. But we also make it familiar for the crowd, because we realize when I show up to Trio, there's 700 people there. Those 700 people didn't buy tickets to see me. they bought tickets to have fun at Trio. So it's my job to then like give them that time, but also be like, hey, I'm Kasis. Like, this is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like there's a lot of stuff going on like that where that didn't exist in 2015. It was all like, we want the same mold DJ. And that's when like Scam and all that was killing it, because they were cutting and printing those guys. There was so many of them, but they also, to me, a lot of them were very similar. Not that that's bad. They were very good. But I think a lot of these venues now are kind of like, we'd rather have somebody that's like a little bit different, but still will come and do the job. If that makes sense. I think that's kind of how that lane was created a little bit. I give dance music like a lot of the credit. But yeah, I think that's just kind of what happened, to be honest. And we just kind of went into that lane, and we've just been keeping it moving there.
That makes sense. Yeah. And I feel like how many, like when you do a set at Trio, how many of your own edits do you think you're playing, like percentage wise?
So like for those kind of sets where it's like 2 hours, some of those rooms will only do like an hour and a half, but I'll say 2 hour set in a room that's like a raging club room that's used to having hard ticket artists, but they have us there on that night. I'll probably play maybe 60 songs in that set, and probably 30 plus are going to be like edits or stuff, remixes I've done.
Stuff that you made.
Yeah.
So you are, and I feel like that's what it is. That's filling that void of like, or making the difference of just a DJ and then the hard ticket seller, and then you're in the middle because you are creating music that you're playing just like a hard ticket seller would. Like, that's the formula, right? Make a song that blows up, everyone knows it, now you can go play up other places and people want to pay
absolutely.
to see you. You're making a bunch of the music and you're playing all the music that you're making, and it's just like it's a nice segue into that world. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I think that I always say, like, to kind of talk about the different worlds, because it's kind of the segue with that. We always talk about how, like, play the shows how do I explain this? Play the shows of like the world you want to be in, right? So if you want to be an artist, play the artist shows. I think the thing that's interesting with like this path that like some of us are on is we're not being booked as hard ticket sellers, but we're playing hard ticket seller rooms. So like the Trios, the Grands, these are the venues all these DJs want to play. Mm-hmm. And we're being booked at these venues because not every night they can have the $50,000, $75,000 DJ. There's a void. There's a area for us in those rooms. So I think it's a little bit weirder because I don't think this path has like existed as much, where we can still kind of make music and like try and do that artist thing and have fun doing it, but we can also play these like non-hard ticket rooms because they're the right rooms. They're the same rooms we'd be in if we were hard ticket sellers. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I think it's just also understanding, like I said, it's being level-headed and realizing when you show up to play forward and there's 1,000 people there, they're not there for you. So I think it's like, it's great, do your thing, but, you know, take them on that journey you want to take them on, but make it familiar. Like, make it where you're going to make fans. And that's what I just try and do every time I go into one of those rooms, is just try and make people like Kasis. Like, that's really all it is.
Yeah, that's a good mindset.
Yeah, I just think a lot of people, you just got to be like level-headed about it. I think that's the biggest thing is, I think if you go in these rooms and you're like, oh, there's 700 people are here to see, it's like, they're not. They just aren't. It's the truth. I mean, and dude, I'll tell you, some of these huge artists with their big fees, they think the same thing, and I can tell you they're not there to see them.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about your boy. No, you have a lot of insight. I ask a lot of questions to you, and Dex now, especially, that he's in this like booking position, and he's looking at who's drawing what and what big name DJs that have a draw can play in the room that he's booking for, because that's a thing too. Mm-hmm. Like, you can get the people there, or the people might show up no matter what, like you're saying. Yeah. Now this guy's got a big name, he's got a big track, but can he play the room right? That's a big thing as well. So I always thought, like, you see these same guys in rotation around all these clubs around the country, around the world, and I'm always like, they're there for a reason. They got to be there for a reason. Like, somebody's putting this guy in the room because he's doing a great job. He's selling tickets. They're making money off him. Like, it's a no-brainer. But you're telling me that a lot of these guys, they're not doing well. They're not selling the tickets. People aren't showing up, but the people who do show up, they're not even having a good time because these people aren't, great at playing a room. They just play their set or their shit or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that blows my mind. That's crazy to me because I'm like, wow, how do they keep
with the fee
getting booked with these big ass fees? I mean, they're big names. They have names, so there should obviously be fees attached to it. But it's like, what the fuck? That
is crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I feel like Dex has talked a lot about it, like recently too, since he started, taking that role on. But yeah, I mean, I think just from, like I said, playing these venues that are both hard ticket and not hard ticket venues, I know a lot of like these bookers and these talent buyers, and you don't even, it's not even important who and what, but it's crazy that some of these guys are getting paid these fees and they're pretty much just kind of like almost grandfathered in, which, I mean, that's fine, but like that also should be a certain fee that you're grandfathered in at. And some of these guys are getting this money, and it's like, you see they sell 50 tickets, but there's 1,000 bodies in the room because they want to be in that room, not for them. And then they show up and they play a set that isn't for the 1,000 people. They think they're only playing to their fans, and they just kind of like bomb the room, and you're just like, how are they getting this when X and X is getting this? And it's just like crazy to see, honestly. I think Nashville is an interesting market, especially with Dex doing it, because that's a big tourist town, like very similar to Vegas. And Vegas is interesting too, because I've talked to people out there where they'll book some of these bass guys, and the bass guys have to change their set a little bit, because not everybody there is there to like headbang in this Vegas club. Like Susie from Kentucky on a bachelorette party just wants to hear Clarity.
Yeah.
So it's like I've seen like how some of those guys have changed their sets to where, they're playing a Kelly Clarkson vocal, but it's still a trap drop. So it kind of like hits everything. And I think Nashville is one of those cities where like you really have to do that also. And I've seen big guys, small guys come in, and they definitely like have a little trouble because they don't know how to engage that full tourist sing-along type crowd. But yeah, back to the fees and all. It's crazy to me that like somebody can charge, 25, 30 grand and sell 50 tickets. I think it's just nuts.
And bomb the room. I mean,
yeah.
How do they look when they're bombing? Do they know they're bombing, or are they?
I think that
I just want to get to the place where I can bomb and not even realize it.
Yeah, I think that comes back to like what I was saying about like when I play somewhere and there's 1,000 people, I recognize the 1,000 people aren't there for me. I don't think a lot of these people recognize that.
That's crazy.
I mean, I don't have another answer, because like if I'm bombing, like I'm going to change what I'm doing, right? But yeah. I think a lot of them are kind of like, well, I'm the artist. They're here to see me. And that's just not the right mentality.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know. I mean, I think part of it too is like we're in this era now where like these like 6-figure John Summit, Dom Dalla, all these people, like they're selling out arenas. So it's kind of like everybody thinks it's so easy, like hop on the train, book a DJ, you're going to sell the club out. But there's that huge like no man's land of like, X amount to X amount that just like doesn't move the needle really.
Yeah, what is that? Like what amount is that?
I feel like Dex could probably give you a better answer on that, but I think a lot of those people in like the $10,000 to $25,000 range like don't move the needle at all.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
10 to 25K, and you're not really even moving the needle.
Just from spots that I have played and bookers like I've talked to at those spots, those are the guys that like it's hard, because people are willing to spend $300, $400 to go see John Summit. Like it's crazy. Like the level of like superstardom that those like 6-figure people are at is like nothing I've seen. Like they're rock stars at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the dude sold out MSG. They don't want to play clubs anymore because they can just throw their own shows and have total control of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like what they've been doing. So it's like if a club tries to book them, they're just like, oh yeah, we'll take this if you want to do it. And like, it's just not affordable.
And then also like their management is trying to leverage that in the club, right? Like that's how those $10,000 to $25,000 guys get a lot of shit, right? Because
same managers and stuff.
Same manager as John Summit, but you want John Summit, you got to book this guy a couple times.
Yeah, which used to, I feel like that used to kind of be the scam way, but the scam guys weren't $100,000. You know what I mean? It was a little bit more like, okay, you take C and B and we'll give you A, but it was doable.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's kind of like you book those guys, like I'm saying, in the no man's land. They're not going to sell. They don't play the room awesome. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to get hate for that, but I feel like everyone kind of knows this. It's just, I just feel like people don't really talk about it, I guess.
Yeah. I don't think it's talked about openly. I think it's just talked about in the
DJ circles,
in the group text.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, that's why I was saying I don't think it matters who it is, but it's just like a weird thing going on of like, if you don't book the 6-figure guy, like you're just not going to sell tickets, which is like, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
And I think again, that's what opens more doors for like the me and Rick type people, because it's like, you know, I can't book the $100,000 guy and I'm not going to waste $25,000. So like, what can I do? Like, I need someone who can play the room and like put on a show. And that's kind of where we've been coming in.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's so dope because like I saw something. It was probably a meme or something. I don't know. I'm fucking gay, but it said, it was like,
fucking gay.
It was like
clip.
It was something about like, I'm dying. It was something about finding what you like to do, finding your niche, and then going into like the corners and crevices of that niche to get even deeper in it and like find the real value in it. And I feel like that's what that is. Like you completely understand. I think your success is tied for sure to the fact that you live in full reality.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And you understand what's happening around you and you're able to move because you're playing the game well. You know what fucking game you're playing.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think I've always like thought like that, like been realistic and lived in that reality like you're saying. And yeah, that's exactly what it is we know where I fit in and like I'm just moving along on that path. And it's not, I mean, there's good paths everywhere, and it's just, you got to find the one that you belong on and the one you're good at. That's the other thing. Like there's too many people that like will try and do something that they're like not good at, and they'll like fight that other path. And I'm always like, I see that too. And I'm kind of like, you kind of fit in right here. Like just do that and you're good at it.
Yeah.
So that's like the other thing I see. But yeah, no, I feel you 100%.
Yeah, that's sick. And I want to talk about Rinse and Repeat. Because that's one, listen, I'm doing these house sets Thursday at Celeste. Most of my music comes from listening to that show. I'm just robbing you. I'm just robbing you.
That's what they're there for.
Yeah. No, I love a good mix. I love to get on the Stairmaster and just get absolutely blasted and get taken on a journey by someone else. I want to get inside of you.
Clip.
So when did you start that? How did you start that? What was the idea? What was the goal?
Yeah, so Rinse and Repeat started during COVID. I feel like that's when everybody kind of was like doing something.
Yeah.
I don't know if I feel like it seems so long ago now, but I don't know if you remember when everyone was doing like the live streams.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I remember like doing one of those, and I like did it, set everything up in the living room. I think I even went and got some stuff to do it because I was like, if I'm gonna do it, it needs to like look good and whatever. I did it once, and I was like, I'm never doing this again.
The Twitch stream?
This was even before that. This was when it was still Instagram Live, and they weren't cutting it off.
Okay, like
so like
club quarantine,
yeah,
or
like
whatever.
right in the
D-Nice
beginning, essentially.
Yeah,
and I was just like, I don't get a thrill out of like this. Might sound bad, but I don't get a thrill out of like DJing alone.
It's hard. It's tough.
I just feel like the fun part of DJing is that like high you get from like other people enjoying like what you're doing and like that path you're on.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like so unenjoyable, and I was like, I'm never doing this again. I didn't do it again. And I was like, okay, but I need to like do something when COVID's going on and figure something out. And I was like making some music during COVID because I had time to do that. And I was like really liking house stuff. I was like, I'm just going to do like a radio style show of house music. And hit up a bunch of buddies to do guest mixes. I was like, this will be cool. Like we'll do like a 10 episode thing. I'll have like guests on all of them. I remember like Fade did the first one, like 5 and Deluxe, the first guest. Crespo did one. Some guys I've never met but internet friends with, so like Scene and Spider did them. And it was cool because it was also guys that like didn't really do house music. So I thought it was kind of cool to like have like Scene do a house mix and like shit like that. And it kind of just like kept going. I was like doing it once a week, still doing it once a week. And I mean, now it's on episode 250 something or 60 something. And people hit me up to do guest mixes. So that's kind of cool now. But yeah, it was really just started because COVID, and I wanted to like do something I enjoyed doing. And I think that's part of also why I was like, I'm going to go down this lane. Like, I don't want to play hip hop. I don't enjoy it. Like, I want to play dance music. And in some ways, I was kind of like the start of it. I didn't really know at the time, but now looking back, time wise, that's kind of where it all happened.
Mm-hmm. And how has it helped you? How's it grown since you started? You're joined up with the Fit Radio, right? Like what have been the benefits thus far?
I think just getting my name a little bit more into like that dance community and like that artist community, because it's like, you know, stuff gets picked up on 1001 track lists. So like basically that's how I know a lot of like my edits and remixes are played by bigger guys, because they get listed, and then when they play them, they know what they are, they show up. So it gave me kind of like that credibility, which is cool, seeing like bigger artists play that stuff. And then from that, they'll hit me up for the records, which is like cool too. I've actually had a few bookers book me from Rinse and Repeat. That's actually how Greenlight started.
That's sick.
So shout out to Cole. Probably one of the first people that booked me after COVID, because that was when Dallas and, you know, Texas was like Florida was wide open.
Mm-hmm.
So Greenlight kind of started getting after it again. And Cole loved Rinse and Repeat. He still like sends it to me all the time when he's listening to it. And yeah, he's one of them. There's a few other people that have hit me up and booked me from it. But just I think it's just something. It's just content. It's weekly content.
Mm-hmm.
I think some people make funny TikToks, and like for me, it's kind of like, here's the show. Like, you like the music. It's just what I'm better at. I'm not as funny on TikTok. Like, I don't know. I'm more comfortable like in that realm.
I feel that. That's kind of how I always thought of like this, or before this, it was the Strategy and Dolo show, or like some sort of video.
It's content.
Internet thing is content, and like my thing. Most people go into producing. Like, you're a DJ, next step is to produce music and like focus on that, get good at that. I was always like, that's not what I really love. Like, I do love doing this. So like this was my thing.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of what it was. It was like content I enjoyed doing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just like I said, I've seen benefits from it. It's on Fit Radio now, which is cool. That's like the company I was saying. I basically started with them around COVID too. And for people that don't know, Fit Radio is just like it's a company that pretty much every gym, like it's like Orange Theory, F45, UFC. There's a few more, but they have like national contracts with them. So anytime you go in an Orange Theory or an F45, there's like Fit Radio playing. And I just ended up becoming like one of their better higher streaming guys. It's crazy. I'll look in the app and there'll be like 20 million plays.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
So like, they'll just take an episode of Rinse and Repeat and run it on there?
So basically like every month for them, I get like what they call like assignments. So they'll be like, we need a mix of all rock EDM remixes. So they'll get that, and they'll get so many of those from me per month, as well as the other DJs that do stuff for them.
Oh, so they're not taking an episode of Rinse and Repeat. You're making a mix specifically for them.
So they're specifically getting mixes, but this starting about a year ago, they also are now getting their Rinse and Repeat episodes.
Oh, nice.
So they're like on that app. So now they're on it's Apple Music, Mixcloud, and there. So it's cool because gyms can play them now.
That's crazy. And they don't have to be clean?
So the mixes that are assignments for them are clean always. Rinse and Repeat doesn't have to. So they're allowed to have explicit mixes. They just have to mark them explicit. So like the monthly ones we do, they want clean because they want them streamed the most. But a lot of these people don't. They don't really care, especially with the house stuff. Like a dirty one is not like a dirty hip hop song. You know what I mean? It's a little different. So it's cool, but it's cool that it's on there. And I will hear people like text me, "Oh, I'm in Orange Theory and I heard Rinse and Repeat." I'm like, it's kind of cool.
That's tight. My girl goes to Orange Theory. I gotta tell her to keep her.
She's probably heard DJ K's Fit Radio.
Yeah,
there's a little drop in there.
I gotta have her keep her ears peeled.
Yeah,
she's going today. Actually, we'll tell her before she leaves. Do you feel like doing 200 plus episodes helped you become a better DJ? I mean, you're working on your craft in some capacity. Maybe you're not doing it live. You do most of your mixes in Ableton, right?
Yeah, those are all Ableton. No, 100% because the music.
Yeah. Like
the music is you're getting promos and all kinds of stuff that like you're not getting on record pools. None of that stuff's there. Yeah, so that's the other thing. I just always have feel like I sound different because, again, it's familiar, but I'm not playing the same remix that every single person's playing that's on, Club Killers, DJ City, HMC. Like, I'll play some of that stuff, of course, but I try to be a little bit different, whether it's stuff like that or stuff I've made or whatever. But yeah, it definitely has made me a better DJ from that standpoint.
Yeah, that's
just having the weapons, it's...
full arsenal.
Can't like scratch or anything cool like that very well, but I do have the arsenal.
The older I get and the more I'm DJing for these rooms that I really have to like curate to, the less I'm scratching. I feel like if I'm doing a mix, I gotta just like even when I'm live.
I mean,
I enjoy it. I have to do it, but like, man, sometimes I think about when I was DJing at Bottle Blonde in 2016,
going ham,
going crazy in my sets. Like, I don't know. I think about this quite often, but at Celeste now, everything's a dance floor. The disco is a fucking dance floor. The house room on top, the garden. There's not necessarily a dance floor, but people just crowd the booth and you have like that boiler room feel.
It's the best.
And it's all about keeping that groove. When prior to this and prior to like me realizing this maybe a year, maybe even 2 years ago, my whole DJ style I felt like was interruptive. It was like I would do things to stop the groove on purpose and say, hey, look at this or listen to this. Like, now it's time to go here with this song. Because all the bottle service clubs I was playing in, everyone's always so distracted by everything else. People aren't really paying attention to the DJ. People aren't in front of the booth like crowding it like boiler room. People aren't on a dance floor needing a steady groove to dance to. It was more of an interruptive style. It was
do you think you just like adapted with the times? Like, because I've heard people talk about this, and that's the question like I always ask them, because when you were doing that in 2015, that was how a lot of DJs played. That was the style. Like, what? Like, I'm gonna slam this and look at me, watch me do this. I'm gonna interrupt it. I'm gonna get on the mic. Like, I feel like the style of DJing has changed. I think a lot of that is because of dance music becoming as big as it's been, and you DJ dance music differently. So, like you said, it's more like about a flow. So it's not even like when you were doing that at the time, it was like bad. It was just how it was.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
I felt like I was killing it at that time. But now I look back and these are like habits that I'm consciously trying to break.
Not do. Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, I think like now, I've heard someone said this. I don't remember who it was, but the most important thing is programming now. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like, it's great if you can do really cool scratching or tricks or whatever, but like, the general public doesn't care. So who are you doing it for? And
for me, it's for me.
Yeah, it's for you. And no, and I get that. Like, but that's the thing. That's okay. And like, that's cool and that's great. But like, it's not going to like help you as much as programming.
Yeah.
If you're playing the right song, you're always going to just be doing better. It's just the facts. You got to know like what to play, when to play it. It sounds terrible, but sometimes it's not even important like how you get the song on. Like, I've seen some like horrendous things, but they picked the right record, and it's like, holy shit, the crowd goes crazy, and you're just like,
it's true.
I get it. I mean, but I don't know. I feel like just the times changed, and I think you adapted. I think the DJs that adapted to that are like doing very well. Excuse me. I think the DJs that really didn't adapt to that, you don't really see as much.
Yeah. Or you see them in different rooms. Everyone's playing different stuff for different people.
Yeah. Different stuff for different people. Nuts.
What?
I don't know. I feel like there was just something behind that. I don't know what it was, but I caught something there.
That's so funny. Yeah. No, I feel that, and it makes sometimes there's a small piece of me that gets worried that I'm gonna like lose something that I had. Like at one point that worked for me so well,
right,
and got me to where I'm at now in a sense. Like I've been trying to make one of the blocks for sure. And it's just a struggle to be like, all right, I don't need this anymore. It's not doing what it used to do for me. So I either got to leave it in the past or figure out a way to do it differently, I guess, is what I'm currently working on.
I mean, I feel like it's just that adapter or get left back in the dust kind of thing. And
you grow or you die.
Yeah, you grow or you die. And I think like that's why I think it's always so cool when I see, whether it's a DJ or a producer that's like reinvented themselves like multiple times. So like we can start you start at the top, like someone like Tiesto.
Mm-hmm.
The dude was making trance in the 90s playing on vinyl. Then he started making big room. Then he started making slap house stuff. Then he started making radio stuff. Like the dude has reinvented himself more times, like in the 60 years or 50 years he's been playing. And that's why he's still at the top. He's still there. And on on a smaller level, you have someone like Vice. He was a hip hop guy. Then he was a radio guy. Then he was a dance music producer. Like he's done everything and he's still at the top of the game, because it's not that like you're like giving into the trends. I feel like people think that's like a bad thing, but like that's not what they're doing. They're just reinventing, like they're moving along and adapting and like taking the stuff they liked from the stuff they did before with the new stuff they like. And it all becomes just like one piece. And I think like seeing stuff like that's the coolest, because it's nuts to me seeing someone like Vice like he's still at the top. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that is dope. It is dope to see. It's inspiring.
Yeah, that's a good word. It's inspiring. That's what it is. Like when I see Vice, I think it's very like inspiring.
Yeah, to like when someone blows up and they're at their peak at that moment, it's the most interesting is like what are they doing now? What happens next?
Right.
Watching them after that,
yeah.
Seeing how they move after getting so much shine.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely, I think it's inspiring, like you said, when you see people like that, I mean, all the years later, like still at the top, because it's not an accident. It's just the way they adapted as stuff came. And I mean, I feel like that's all we're trying to do. I mean, we're trying to do this as long as we can do it, as long as it's fun. So
yeah, facts. There was a moment when I thought I wasn't going to DJ anymore.
That's when you were in Houston.
I quickly learned.
Tell us about Houston.
You don't want to know about Houston. You're not ready for Houston, dog. You keep going there once a quarter, picking up a check. You don't let me ruin that for you.
You're like on the Houston tourism board.
Trying to stop people from going there.
You really are. It's It's kind of wild.
No, I always say it's a fun place to go visit and party.
Yeah.
But don't move there.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. This is a core memory. When I told Neil Jackson I was moving to Houston, I've always, like, Neil's always been my guy. He's always helped me out. And, I
cool.
feel like he does that with everybody.
Yeah.
He's just like a good guy that is always down to divulge information.
Yeah.
And during the pandemic, we were talking a lot, doing Twitch streams and shit and whatnot. And then out of nowhere, I'm moving to Houston to open up this bottle blonde with Dolo. And I'll never forget telling him I was moving to Houston. And he was like, what? What? Why? I was like, because there's an opportunity out here. Like, I got to do it. He's like, damn, dog, that's crazy. and
like, not even like a good or bad. It was just like, whoa.
Yeah, he was shocked.
He didn't even have anything to say.
He didn't even have anything negative to say about Houston. I had never been to Houston in my life. I was just like, opportunity. I got nothing holding me here. Fuck it.
Yeah.
And I just remember him being like, they're weird out there. They're weird. I didn't know what he meant, but now I totally get it.
Dude, Texas is its own country. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
So is Florida in some ways, but like, they're crazy in Texas. Like, Dallas and Austin. I mean, Dallas is crazy. Like, the Sunday Funday shit in Dallas is like, I always dread the Monday flight home from Dallas when I go there once a month because that flight's bad.
Yeah, it looks like a good time. That little sunset sessions.
Yeah, sunset sessions. Yeah, I actually should have mentioned that when you said favorite places to play. I just don't think about it because it's not really like a venue. It's at Greenlight, but is
it on the roof?
It's on their
Greenlight.
Roof. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's sick.
Yeah, so this guy Wes started that with the Greenlight guys, and I don't know. I think it's been a couple years now, but I mean, that's the best party.
That shit looks lit.
Boiler room, people right on top of you, just all house stuff.
Outdoors while the sun is setting.
Yeah, it's cool because it's one of those things where everybody that's there like is there for the reason of that. Like, they know what they're getting. It's like the same thing with the Zur, like Luke's party. There's not a single person there that's gonna be like play Bad Bunny because they just know like that's not what they do there.
Yeah,
they're there for all the right reasons. So those are cool parties because of that.
Yeah, that's sick.
But Sunday there is just, they're nuts.
I got to get out. I got to do some traveling and see some other parties and get some inspiration. That's the one thing that I'm missing with working my balls off like this, is being inspired by other sets.
Other stuff, yeah.
Other than Heavy. I mean, that's anytime, we go back and forth and he plays, it's definitely inspiring, and I'm stealing all of his moves. He was on the pod last week talking about how I watch like a hawk.
You just take it all.
And I fucking replicate.
Absorb it.
That's what I do.
The one good thing though is that when you are like playing the same kind of spot like you're doing, playing with someone else makes it much better.
Fuck yeah.
Makes it much better because like you said, you're still getting like inspired because you're seeing other DJs play. Mm-hmm. Even though it's the same person, like especially being Heavy is a beast. Like you're gonna always be inspired like watching that.
Yeah, and we're both pushing each other.
Exactly.
And I gotta push this piss out of myself. Hold on 1 second.
Push it out.
The last one.
All the water, all the coffee.
The last one. Long Drink is a legendary Finnish favorite that's been around since the 1952 Summer Games. It's a deliciously refreshing blend of premium liquor, natural grapefruit flavor, and just the right amount of carbonation. Honestly, this is the stuff right here. White is sugar-free, blue is citrus, orange is peach, red is cranberry, black is extra strength, and they're all fire. New flavors dropping soon, so watch out for those. And they're just the best sponsor for this podcast. So the next time you're tuning in, make sure you crack open a Long Drink. Enjoy one while you're watching the show, because good vibes deserve great drinks. Let's go, champ. We're back to the episode. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, Heavy is crazy.
He's a beast.
He's sick.
He's a fucking beast, bro.
Yeah, I saw him. I've only seen him one time, but I got to John Boy kind of early. One of the times I played here, and I saw his like, I think Dante or someone might have double booked because he went later. Because usually
Dante double booked.
Yeah, I know. Usually we
stop it.
Usually we go like 11 to 2, and I think Heavy played to 11:30 or 12. So I was there at like 11. So I saw like his 30 minutes or hour, and he's a beast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. In the world of editors, in the world of record pool editors, Is there a lot of competition? Are you trying to get, when Chris Lake drops Toxic, are you trying to be the first one to put something out over Toxic? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So the first thing with like the world of editors, I feel like there's two different kind of worlds, similar to like DJing. I think there is the more like working editor for a record pool where they're making everything. So you're going to get like the big room edit, you're going to get the hip hop blend, you're going to get all of that. Then there's the more like similar to like what I talked about with DJing, like the more like on a path, artist kind of editor, where like when you download my edit, you know what it's going to sound like. I'm not going to mix Snoop Dogg and Bruno Mars, you know what I mean? Like I just don't make those edits. Like I only make the edits that I would play in my own set. So because of that, I think that when like certain records like that come out, I want to usually be quick on it, because if I can make it quick and I can start playing it and send it around to some of the bigger producers, they'll play it. Where if someone else then sends it to them before me, maybe they're playing that. And, sometimes these guys put stuff in their sets. It doesn't leave their sets, stuff like that. So like I try to be like quick with it, but also isn't like all out race. I mean, me and Rick make a lot of similar stuff and we like always talk about it. So like Rick will be like, I'm going to flip this with this. Like, what do you think? And I'll be like, oh, I was thinking of flipping this with this. And like we do it, and we, both of them do well on Headliner. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's also similar with that, like same style. But yeah, I don't think it's not like a race or anything, but I mean, I try to be quick with it when something comes out.
There's got to be a bit of a race. Are there certain songs that you have in mind where you're like, okay, I want to make an edit of that, and now you're just waiting for the perfect track to drop that will mash with that?
So in a way, like, yes, kind of like to think of it the opposite way, I guess, too, is basically I have like a list, not even a list, but a mental list of like kind of those like EDM classic songs, like Titanium, all the familiar songs, right? Like, again, familiar. I use those like once a year. So there'll be like a Cases 2025 reload, a Cases 2026. That's going to happen every year because I know everybody recognizes those songs and I want to play them, but how do I like repurpose them? So that's where the new stuff comes in. Because I'm like, hey, I want to play Appetite, right? Like we were sending that one around. Sick. I played that in a room. I think it was in, I don't know, it was a more mainstream room. And I played the original song. And like, it doesn't get the reaction in that room because the build is so long and they're kind of just like, what's happening, right? Like not everyone there likes that. Yeah. So it's kind of like, how do I play this song? So then I think like, well, how do I like maybe flip this with something super recognizable? And that's where like Latch came in. So like I did the Latch and Appetite one. And now when I play that huge build's going, but it has the chorus of Latch on it and everybody recognizes it. So it's like, that's how I'm able to play that. There is stuff too, though, like the way you were saying, where like I am like, I want to make something with this, like, and I kind of wait for something. Like that definitely happens also. But I think it's more like songs coming out that I'm like, this is sick. How can I play this? And then kind of going from there and being like, do I flip it with a pop vocal or do I flip it with a whole nother song that just drops into that? There's so many different like ways to do it. But it all just comes back to being familiar. Yeah. In one way or another. That's all it is. Like
Goo Goo Dolls, Iris.
We just did it. It happened.
You just did that.
It's big.
I heard it.
It's big.
It sounds good. Where did the idea to flip a Goo Goo Dolls song come from?
I'm going to tell you, this is funny. So I've wanted to do a remix or edit of that song for a while. When I'm real drunk at the end of a set, I'll throw the original of that song on, like as the lights are coming on, and people go crazy. They sing the whole song. It's amazing. It's a 90s banger. Everyone loves it, whatever. The song was obviously made in the 90s, and the song is very unquantized. So to use the vocal of that song, like I have the acapella, obviously, it needs to be quantized. So what that means is I have to sit there in Ableton and drag every word essentially to the proper place to use the song. It takes hours to do. I've done it for
That's why I don't make music.
Yeah, I've done it for a few songs like that I've done edits of that did really, really well. Like during the remember the guy on the skateboard with the
Dog
Tito's?
face.
Yeah, with Dreams.
Yeah. He had the
Fleetwood
cranberry.
Mac. Yeah. So I did Fleetwood Mac Dreams, and that was one where I had to quantize. It took me probably like 5 hours to get that shit good. Oh, and that's why I didn't do Iris. Luckily, recently, shout out Engo and Luke, they made an edit of Iris. So I knew that Engo or Luke, one of them, quantized that vocal. So I hit up Engo and I said, Engo, send me that shit. And Engo said, I hate you, but here's that shit. And he sent me the vocal, and I didn't have to sit there for 6 or 7 hours and quantize it. And I made that basically because of them.
Damn.
Saved me a lot of time.
That's the homie
so that's
right there.
That's how it came about.
I feel like not a lot of people would do that. That's a good guy right there.
Yeah, I mean, we're friends. You gotta share.
Yeah.
Now I owe him a quantized vocal. You know?
Yeah. What are you gonna do? You got to put out like a third eye blind song.
That's the problem with a lot of those like 90s and 2000s ones is obviously they weren't made on computers. It's all live bands. So it's funny. I was telling Engo, even with Iris, he quantized it for what they did it with, and the verse, because it's not on a computer, has like a little swing to it. So I actually still had to go and do a lot of the verse differently. The chorus still hit like on, but I had to change a little bit of the verse up. So it's funny how like it's on different stuff. It's not perfect, and it's never going to be perfect because it's just not, it has swing. It's not on a thing like that. But yeah, I owe him a vocal now.
Okay. Cause it's funny because I got yours first, and then I'm on some Patreons that I subscribe to where people go through other people's Patreons and
saw the other one
steal their music and sell it to me for
I love that.
cheap,
So someone's selling Engo and Luke's music. I love that. Yeah. Someone's making money, Engo.
Yeah. So then I saw that one and I was like, wait a second. Why? How did both these guys do the same random fucking song? Yeah. I thought maybe like, John Summit played it at a festival and you were like, oh, this is...
I don't know if anyone's been playing it. I really haven't seen anyone play it, but yeah, I don't know. And that was also, that's why I made HMC the more like progressive house. I think I sent you guys both of them, but the homies have the real one.
Yeah, the real deal.
The Medusa one's the real one.
The real deal. I played your I Only Smoke When I Drink Medusa.
That's a good one.
Edit last night actually while I fired up a little joint ski.
Yeah, that's the one with like the huge build. Mm-hmm. That's a good Sunset Sessions one.
Yeah, you
really get the hand going. People start whistling. You know what happens.
Yeah,
the fans come out.
You gotta be like really enjoying what you're playing and know your music too, to know the builds and like when you're directing the crowd, because they don't know what's going on, but if they're watching you and you're fucking let's go, we're building it up, like then they're part of it, they know what's going on.
I think that's also just part of like dance music culture. I think you hear a lot of the older kind of OG DJ guys talk about how they DJ'd in a corner in a nightclub. Mm-hmm. Like I've never had that experience. I was always thrown into a DJ booth in the middle of the club. Like when I started, it was 2011 or 2012. That was like peak EDM. Mm-hmm. So like you're the focus. Like that was when, even in these clubs, we were just playing like big room stuff. It was crazy, like in college. And I think I learned a lot of that, like that showmanship type shit that like some of the older guys didn't really ever have to do, because they were in, different spots, and a lot of them don't want to do it. They talk about it all the time. They're like, I don't want to do that. But I think some of these rooms like require it, and I've had to do it, and I've gotten like comfortable doing it. Yeah.
I feel like a TikToker now. I'm back there dancing.
Yeah.
I'm fucking...
It's kind of fun, You get like the little shot tray to pass out.
It is fun.
Yeah.
It is fun. Once you settle in, there's always like a shell I got to break out of. There's always like
the first time you pick up the mic.
Yeah.
Dude, that's why I right away, like literally you throw a little intro on, you get on it, say something right away, and that's it. It's like all I need. I'm good to go.
Okay.
But you still get those little, I think I don't even know how many times I've DJ'd hundreds, thousands, whatever, but you still get those little, the little butterflies for sure. So I think it's like, how do you get rid of those and like get it going? That's my thing. I just immediately say something on the mic and that's it.
Yeah, that's a really good strategy. I gotta do that more. I love getting on the mic in a big room. To me, in a small room, it feels more weird.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of rooms where you like Sunset. There's not even a mic plugged in. Like you don't even need a.
You just got to throw your headphone in that bitch.
Yeah, if you want, but you don't even need. You know what I mean? Like I agree. The smaller rooms, you don't really need to as much.
It's more terrifying though. I think because like I don't know what it is, but there's something about the smaller room where you don't need it, but you do it, like you said, to get into it, to break the ice, to fucking shake the nerves. Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of those rooms too are like, all those small rooms now are all like dance and house driven. And I feel like a lot of that style like doesn't require a mic. So it's kind of like, you're like, do I need to do this? Should I do this? Where the big room, it's kind of like, they're looking at me, I got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's just why my mentality always is like immediately say something. Like even if it's like a night where maybe it's not super crowded and you like don't really have their attention, I just hit them with this or any birthdays immediately, like something like that.
Yeah.
Because it just shakes it. It like lets them know you're there. It also lets them know a different DJ is playing. That's like another thing I always try and like make it noticed. But yeah, I agree with you. The smaller rooms, it's a little more.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, it's a little scarier.
I don't know why.
Straight terrifying.
I don't know why that is. That always fucked with my head.
You use the mic at Celeste or no?
Yes. Because you don't have to, because it's a small room.
Right.
And we're trying to make it a point to more, because you build up the rapport that way so much better.
Have they asked you to use the mic or no?
No.
So that's cool. I mean, it's just on you guys to do it if you want.
Yeah, sparingly, you know? Yeah. We like to use the cowbell in there.
Yeah, what's up with the cowbell? I noticed that.
Bro, we're fucking smacking the cowbell. It's the best time of my life.
Where did it come from?
Heavy just had the idea. He was like, bro, we need a cowbell. Like, we need to put on a little performance. So it's so fun, dude. It's so fun.
One of you DJs, one of you hits the cowbell.
One of us, yeah, is DJing. The other one's doing the cowbell. Nuts. And passing out shots and getting ready for
smoking cigs. I've been seeing that.
I'm trying to smoke more cigs. That's my 2025 resolution.
That was the best when you sent us this photo. You go, guys, I don't even smoke cigs.
I don't even smoke cigarettes. But if you let me do it in the club where I'm not supposed to, unbuttoned. I want to do it.
No, it ruled. It was. I mean, it's a great photo. It's insane. Actually insane.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. I'm addicted to smoking cigarettes indoors when you're not supposed to. I'm not addicted to smoking cigarettes.
Is that what it is? It's the thrill that you're like not supposed to be doing that?
Yeah. It's the coolness of like, I'm going to fucking smoke a cigarette.
You probably aren't supposed to be hitting the cowbell either. Maybe that's part of that too.
That might be part of that. No, the cowbell is like, when you get in the groove, when you can build with it and get it soft, I just and think then fucking
the Will Ferrell thing. That's like immediately what I thought of when I saw the Blue Oyster Cult thing.
Yeah,
like, that's you in the club now.
Yeah,
the shirt unbuttoned, cigarette, hitting the cowbell.
That's me.
Heavy walks up. He's like, strategy, more cowbell.
He gets on the mic. He says more cowbell. It's a whole thing. It's great.
That's nuts.
You gonna come experience it tonight?
What time do you start?
Let's get shit-faced tonight. Let's get absolutely recklessly drunk tonight.
I've been trying to not get super drunk like recently.
And you've been doing well.
I've been doing pretty good. I got pretty drunk in Vegas. Shout out Flight. But you know, I've been trying to do better.
And you've succeeded, and I feel like this is your treat. You got to treat yourself.
Maybe Dante will come with us.
Dante, if he's drunk enough, he will. If you could persuade him, if he's having a good time, he's.
I mean, I think basically what I imagine is this: you and Celeste, shirt unbuttoned, cigarette, cowbell, Heavy just going ham. Dante walking around Celeste just with a tray of Rumple Mints, not telling anyone they're Rumple Mints, because that's the signature move.
That's what he likes to do.
I still haven't forgiven him for that when he did that to me at John Boy.
Bro, that's his favorite thing to do. And it's disgusting.
Does anyone
it's violating.
like Rumple Mints?
No, just him.
Do you think he actually likes it?
Yeah, because he's a sick fuck.
You don't think it's just like a shtick?
No. I think it started that way.
But he's learned to really enjoy it.
And now it's like, I actually love it.
Okay, I can see that.
Because I feel like it's the same thing for my boy Massey, who owns Almost Famous in Arizona. He was a big Goldschlager guy.
Oh, that's even worse.
That's his thing. And I feel like it started as like, I'll be the guy that drinks this.
No.
And now he just actually loves it.
Not good.
Goldschlager. Like from Superbad.
Like the cinnamon schnapps.
Yes.
But they're like 50% alcohol, like Rumpelmans. Yeah, no.
Savages.
That's a death wish.
Sickos. But yeah, you should convince Dante to come through tonight.
We'll see what we can do.
I'm going to text him too.
All right. Throw him a text.
I'm going to say you haven't come and seen your boys at Celeste since we started.
You guys are boys again, right?
Me and Dante? I think so. We've definitely spoken, and it's been friendly, and I like him, and I think he likes me, but we have not...
I think he likes me.
We have not spoken about the pod episode whatsoever. I don't know if he's seen it. I have no idea.
Yeah, he probably just pretending it didn't happen.
Yeah. But he also, he's like a entertainer guy. He's like in the new season of the Barstool reality show. He's part of Barstool. He like understands internet and entertainment culture. No, so like, I 100%. Feel like he gets it.
Yeah, no, he does.
Sometimes you just got to talk some shit.
That's what you do here.
That's what I do here.
That's what you do on the strategy.
We've
podcast.
Kept it pretty mild today. I feel like, you know, I'm feeling the effects of last night. It was a late night. It was a good time, but I did come home. So here's what I didn't do. I didn't go to McDonald's last night.
Are you like a big late night food person?
I'm a food at any time person. Okay. I'm a fat piece of shit.
Food at any time person.
Food is my number one absolute vice. I just want to, it's like heroin to me. I want to eat until I'm just like, nodding out. And
eat yourself to sleep vibes.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And I didn't go to McDonald's last night because I knew I had to get up early for this.
All right.
I came home, I rolled out on my kitchen floor with my cat, foam roller, yoga mat.
That's good.
Stretched, slept well, woke up exactly at 11:30. And I took my vitamins. I took my AG1.
I took my vitamins.
I drank 1.5 liters of water.
That's why you beat 3 times.
Yes. But feeling good, I gotta say.
Good.
Feeling pretty good.
Yeah, the water, I feel like when you're hydrated, it's a whole nother game.
Yeah.
It helps.
World of a difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's wrap it. Let's get you to your hotel. Let's get you ready for tonight because we are going to have a long night. There's no way that your girlfriend can come to this city and come say hi to me at Celeste and then you come and don't. So that's really why I brought you here today, was to peer pressure you into pulling
coming
up.
Celeste.
Yeah.
It might work. I give in pretty easily.
You got an early flight tomorrow?
I don't think too early.
It's like a 47-minute flight.
It's so fast, yeah. No, not early. 12:46.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Not bad.
Usually, go.
I feel like here it's never bad because I usually go to Cleveland from here. It's usually how I do it.
You never drive. You always fly.
Yeah, that flight is like $70.
Is it?
It's so cheap.
The last time I looked before,
I usually pay like between 70, I think maybe 100 sometimes. It's not. It's having to go rent a car and stuff. It's way too much. Like. It's the peace of mind. It's easy.
Yeah, I feel that.
Because I'll do the same for like Austin and Dallas because some people drive that too.
Oh, you fly from Austin to Dallas?
It's the same thing, yeah.
That's so funny.
Because how far is the drive to Cleveland? Like 5 hours?
Mm-hmm.
I think Austin Dallas is like 4 or 5 too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a cheap flight. It's easy.
Nice. Do you see Rec Shop when you're in Austin?
Yeah, I usually say what's up to him. I saw him maybe like not last time, but 2 times ago. I used to love the spot he used to do Devil May Care. Have you ever been there?
I've only heard
so cool.
Heard of it and seen people play there from
so
Houston.
Cool. It's like downstairs. I think Mayfair owns it. I could be wrong, but I think they own it. That's one of the clubs there. And it's like all like brick wall, super low ceilings, like good cocktails, and he just plays like house stuff. He stopped playing there though. He switched over somewhere else on Fridays, so I think that's why I haven't seen him the past couple times. But that's a sick spot. Really cool.
Hell yeah.
All right.
I'm excited.
I'm done. I'm all out.
Yeah, we're done. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. You dropped some gems. You fucking made some waves for sure. I think that you're gonna somehow help out a young aspiring DJ who's consuming this content that we're putting on here, and I appreciate you. I hope you have fun tonight. It's gonna be a good time.
Always.
I'll see you later. We're drinking long drinks.
Long drinks, all right.
And you know, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, drop a comment if you're on YouTube. Algorithm activating activity, that's what we like to see around here.
Algorithm activating activity.
We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Peace.
Well, alright. Battle raps cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so thin. That's what I love about the human soul. It'll usually show when the truth ain't told. Use a lie.